Well, my pranam to everyone. First of all, I would like to say thanks to all the organizers of this event. I think it's a fabulous event. A lot of very distinguished panelists, speakers, and the best thing is that you get to meet people from so many different fields of life and get to learn from their experiences, which has taken them years and decades to collect, but you can learn very fast and quickly. Well, I've been asked to speak about cutting-edge technology and how it can help businesses in really creating great value. And I would like to share with you how I have toyed or played with that idea for the last 15 years. In fact, I would say maybe 25 years, while they put up the presentation. So when I was at IIT Kharagpur, I used to always feel one thing, that I need to do something in life. And the way I coined the idea was, I need to get to the end of the universe and possibly stretch it by half an inch, at least make some contribution to the world. And so, okay, I have it there. Anyway, so that was the idea, and very naive idea, but what to do, how to do, and where to go about. So I started doing business with my dad first, and what I found was that all I was doing was chasing money, essentially just money allowing you to make more money. And that felt me that, I have to do something a little bit different. That's really not cutting edge. That's not really stretching the universe. So I got a chance to go to MIT. It's the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Boston. It's one of the what I should call it, the topmost technical place you could get to, with a number of Nobel laureates, a number of, the best technical minds you can get to, and I got a chance to learn and work with them. So I tried to analyze, this was around 2000, what is cutting edge? What is the next best thing? So if I put together some examples, those are some of the stark cutting edge, you can say, from the 100 years ago when we used to have horse carriages and then we started having car. That's like a big jump that technology brought to us. Or we used to have just books and notebooks, and then we had computers to work on, right? Or we used to have, in fact, even having the telephone itself was a cutting edge, but then having that kind of a telephone and having an iPhone, which allows you to do a lot more than what you can achieve with a regular telephone, that's cutting edge. So my idea was, like I said, I've already talked about it, how can we really stretch? And using technology, how can we achieve it? So I worked on something which I coined as mass collaboration, and I'll give you some history. 100 years ago, Henry Ford, who did the Ford company, said, you can have any color of the car as long as it was black. So what he meant was, it's about mass production. That was what was the mantra 100 years ago. Just produce in mass. One thing, but produce it well, good quality, mass, just take it. Then 50 years later, in the 1960s, 70s, we saw customization. I wanted a yellow Mercedes with a pink top. Can I get it? I can pay twice the money or whatever money I want to pay, but can I get that? That was the customization, right? So, and here I was thinking, what is the next thing? What is going to be the next cutting edge, right? I'm talking 100 years, guys. I'm not talking 5 years, or what would be the next thing? And what had occurred to me there when I was doing my research was, what would be something like mass collaboration? Can I get my yellow Mercedes with a pink top, but within a budget that I can afford? Can an individual, big, large corporation collaborate with millions of its customers, right? Today, millions of those customers are treated like dots. So a large company would build its product connecting the dot. It builds on trends, right? How many people bought what? So there's a trend, and based on that, they produce their stuff. So, but can those dots have much more power, right? And can they collaborate together? And I'll give you two different sets of examples of how we have tried to do that. One is subscription, okay? Today, the way we work, every time we have to buy a product, we want a product, we have to go and buy it. So that's a single transaction model, right? But if you think about it, that brings a big challenge. That means every time you have to buy, the seller has to do a lot of work. They have to spend marketing dollars on you. They have to do all kinds of promotional gimmicks, all kinds of marketing deals, give you the best service, and then hope that you will still buy from them next time, right? Now, for the customer also, there's a big challenge because they have to spend, because there's so much information out there with this information coming from different sources, don't know what's the best deal out there, right? So they have to spend time and then hope they probably get the best deal. My colleague here talked about pooling, right? Can different people pool together and then increase their marketing power and get a better price? Well, what I would say is that let's take some learning from some of the industry along this pooling concept. Telecom. In telecom, people don't buy every minute, right? They buy a subscription once and stay on it forever. Right? And that changes the complete dynamics because they've actually pooled all of their future usage of the of their services and given it to one provider. And what that does is that they stay on forever. So they're not spending the time or energy every time they have to make a call that who they're going to use as service provider to make that call. It's a subscription, right? But why can't we do that subscription in most of the other industries, right? And that's the idea, that's the technology we're worked on. And it can be applied to many, many different industries. And I'll give you some examples. I've done a lot of work in the airline industry, and I'll start with that, but then I'll try to cover a few other examples. So the first, in the airlines, we have introduced something called a flight subscription. So you can actually, instead of buying a flight every time, you can buy a flight pass. You can say over a period of 6 months or 9 months or 2 months, whatever. The consumer defines all the parameters. I want to use 10 tickets or 20 or 5, right? And because you are now pooling your future requests, right? And you have the ability to customize it in the way. So I can say how many people can use it. It's my family. Anybody from our family can use those 20 tickets, right? Or it's my business that can use any of those tickets, right? But the key thing is, what we're doing by that is we're pulling all of our future and current usage, but we still have control, right? So now the sellers are all up for it. So they will be willing to give consumers a huge value, either a discount or much better services because of that. And plus, you don't have to go and spend the time in every time doing those transactions or doing, and I'll just give you a very quick way of how you could possibly do that. So if you want to buy just like a flight pass, what you'll do is you'll pick all the cities you want to travel to. Yeah? If somebody just wants to travel between Delhi and Mumbai, you'll just say that. But if somebody wants to travel all over India or all over the world, they could select that, right? And then how many users do you want to add? You know, it's your family, your business, or just yourself. Or now 5 friends could come together and say, I want to, but let's buy 40 tickets that we think we can use over 5 years, right? And how many flights we want, what is the period, all of the parameters, and you get to different subscription models. So you get a subscription, you know, and you can customize the way you want. And just like in any other industry, yesterday we were talking about redefining money using Visa. We have redefined e-commerce by offering financing on everything you purchase, right? So you could say, now that I've bought a subscription for $2,000 or $5,000 or 5 lakhs or 2 lakhs or 50,000, I can even pay through in multiple modes. I can pay all of it once and further get a better price from the seller. Or I can just pay 20% now and actually pay rest in easy installments, right? So the key mantra here is that I can pool my own future usage, right, and get a much better value. Now let's apply that into several other industries, right? We have fuel. Everybody almost today would have at least 2 cars, right? So every time you fill up your tank, in India it's about 2,000, 3,000 rupees, right? If you have 2, if you add that up for a year, you're actually spending about 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees on fuel on just your 2 cars, right? But where do you spend all that money? You spend in that to any kind of gas station or petrol station you get to, right? But if you could just pool that and say, look, I'm willing to spend that on all IOCL or on British Petroleum, right? And I have enough pumps around there, so it's convenient to me, but I can do that, boy, those companies will be able to give you a huge value back for them because you've just helped them with the biggest problem they have, how to get repeat customers, right? And I like to connect that with a story. You know, 20, 30 years ago, when I was a kid, I remember our dad would take us to specific sellers, So if we wanted to buy shoes, we would go to that uncle's shop. If we were buying food, we would go to that uncle's shop. If we were buying clothes, we would go to that particular providers, right? And the moment we got there, we got great experience. They will bring us chai, nashta, right? We get the products right away. We always get a 10% discount. And God forbid, if anything broke, we will get it fixed like this, right? But today, in this globalization, that just disappeared because there are so many providers and so many buyers, right? So, but if we could connect, if we could build this subscription between the customers and their sellers, right? You will again get that. And your dad will not need to know all of those millions of sellers for it to happen. But you could actually do it. Now, Visa people, when they invented Visa, had to go through a huge problem setting up with every bank, setting up those Visa card swipe machines, right? But today we have a smartphone. You can get that subscription just on your smartphone. You go in there, you show it to the guy, he knows, and you are on there. So the sales agent, when you get to, let's say, a food outlet, the moment you show him your cell phone, he will know, oh, this guy has bought 50,000 for next 1 year. The smile will just go up double, right? And if it takes him a minute and a half to serve your order, he'll try to serve you that order in 45 seconds. Because the complete landmark changes. And guess what? I was actually just talking to another food company owner out of Hyderabad last night. And I gave him an example that, look, sometimes when you make too many laddus, and you know by tomorrow they're all going to go waste if nobody buys them, hey, guess what? Now you will know how many people like laddus, right? So you could get a specific offer just to those people that, look, you often buy laddus from us. Would you like to get them now at a much special price? So what you have done is, using technology, you have prevented loss of that product that you have, and you've actually delivered a great service because those guys are much happy getting those laddus, right? Because they really like them anyway. So that's what you can really achieve if you actually use subscription and build that mass collaboration between the sellers and the buyers. And one last idea I would like to just talk about. My time is almost up. Now, so that's one subscription. That's one different model that you can use instead of for mass collaboration. There's another model. The other model is option selling. Well, we can sell either products directly or we can sell options on our product. And I'll give you a few examples. We do it in the aviation industry that you can buy an option for an upgrade to business class. So normally business class tickets might be, let's say, $1,000. I'll just take 30 seconds. $1,000 or whatever, right? But now you can buy an option that in case the business class seats fly empty, you might get an upgrade. So again, it's an option selling, but because we have collected this valuable information, it helps to combine the two, and the customer gets better service and the provider gets extra revenue. So with this, I would like to end my session. Thanks to all of you. And I hope we all can bring focus on building cutting-edge technology. Thank you.